Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about some of the strongest Charizard-Y teams I found on Pokémon Champions. These are some of my personal favorite teams I found or built for Pokémon Champions, all featuring Charizard and Mega Y. Yeah, let's get started. This is the first iteration that I built pre-Champions. I think it's pretty strong. The top 4 mons, the core of Tyranitar, Excadrill, Charizard, and Corviknight feel really strong. I played this on stream and I was undefeated with it, going up to Ultra Ball tier. Where I switched to my second team. Yeah, so let's just get started. Let's talk about the T-Tar. So I opted for the Choice Scarf item, and actually this is incorrect. I'm sorry. This is a Jolly Tyranitar. It is max speed. This hits right under 120 max speed, so you don't get to outspeed Frostlass, unfortunately, or Mega Frostlass, I should say. But everything under it you can outspeed, which is really nice. You still have pretty naturally good bulk, and you set up Sandstream, which doubles your, or 1.5x your Spadef. The reason I chose for Choice Scarf is that you have access to a fast Rock Slide, fast Knockoff, and you also have options of some tech moves for coverage, like Ice Punch and Low Kick. There's other options you can go for as well. It's not restricted to just Ice Punch and Low Kick. I believe he has like Breaking Swipe is a pretty cool move, Heavy Slam. I'm not sure how much that does into Floette, but it could be good. Let me just take a glance. I'm not too sure, actually. Maybe Taunt me, I don't know, like... Probably not Taunt, honestly, because you're locked into it, but, I mean... Yeah, it's probably just those moves. But, I chose Ice Punch, thinking that, you know, Pokemon like Salamence would be in the game, but you still get the 4x into Garchomp, which is a pretty big threat in the format. But most of the time you're just clicking Rock Slide, maybe occasionally clicking Knockoff, and occasionally clicking Low Kick. I feel like I don't think I clicked Ice Punch once, but with the attack stat, you do a lot of damage with Rock Slides, and you're just outspeeding everything, and you're fishing for a lot of flinches, which is really nice. The next Pokemon on the team is Excadrill. Obviously, Focus Sash, Sand Rush was the set I opted to go for. The Mega Excadrill, I think the Sash is better on this team. I opted for max attack since I'm already getting a double speed boost in Sand. Not really anything is outspeeding me unless they have their own Talon. So I don't know. You could opt for Jolly if you really wanted to. I felt like the damage is more important on this Pokemon, especially since the whole point of the team is you get Earthquakes next to everybody besides Sinisha, but you have Protect for that. Yeah, you have Iron Head to flinch for fish for flinches. And you also do a lot of damage to a lot of the fairy types and stuff. And of course, Stomping Tantrum for single target ground coverage. Yeah, I mean, pretty simple. You have a Sash for bulk and stuff. Now here comes the Mega Charizard-Y. So you might be asking, why are you running Mega Charizard-Y with Sand? I think that Sand and Sun pair so well together. I believe that the access to fast Rock Slides into a Mega Charizard-Y the turn after feels so good. It really does feel so good. I mean, you can check any of the games from my stream. I'll have the VODs up on my Twitch, that link below. But just these 3 Pokemon just felt I brought them to every game and they would just demolish. And I wasn't playing like bot teams or anything. This is day 0. I was playing the highest people on ladder. The hour it dropped, you know, I was an Ultra Ball tier. And this team felt like these 4 specifically, the core of Excadrill and Tyranitar, felt very consistent. It helps with the rain as well. Like T-Tar with Scarf, like a lot of people just, at least in the start, they didn't expect it. I think now a lot of people are opting for that Scarf T-Tar because they realize how strong it could be. I mean, like the reason I think a Scarf is so strong is the lack of items as well. Like you don't have options like Assault Vest and stuff. Like I've seen most people opt for either Tyranitar or Chope Berry. The occasional, like I saw like a Focus Sash once or something. But most of the time, you know, I think the Choice Scarf, at least on this team, like where else would it be? It would be in these last 2 mons that I'm not the strongest on. But we'll get to that. But yeah, and you also get Earthquakes next to Charizard, which I think is a common trend between all of the teams I will feature in this video. All but one. But yeah, here comes the Corviknight. So I wanted it to be a very bulky, slow Tailwind setter, but I also wanted fighting coverage on the team. I wanted fighting coverage and a way to deal with Sneasler, and I found Corviknight. At first it was Citrus Berry or Leftovers, and I switched it to Aqua Berry because I found that Charizard is just so strong and so everywhere that Corviknight needs the Aqua Berry right now to even live a hit. And bulk-wise, you're still fine. I mean, maybe you can opt for Roosts or something instead of Bulk Up. I don't think I click Bulk Up too often, but I feel like it's very nice to have it, especially if you want to like set up like a setup sweeper. But yeah, Body Press plus Brave Bird is really good coverage. Mirror Armor makes you, you know, not be able to get intimidated or stat dropped or whatever. It bounces that back. So very nice support piece on the team. That could also do damage. Yeah, and it also walls Sneasler, which is the main focus of the Pokemon, because obviously fighting type is one of my biggest weaknesses on the team. Charizard helps with that as well. Charizard isn't super weak to Sneasler, but it can still chunk it. Oh, by the way, I didn't talk about the spread as well. The spread, this is very specific. You might be asking, what does this do? So the 12 in HP and 14 in defense, it allows you to live Jolly, Garchomp, Rock Slide. So if they try to outspeed the Charizards that are Jolly, most Garchomps would either run Scarf or Jolly to outspeed Charizards. Sorry, I'm drinking water. Yeah, so this is a really good calc, I think. But I did kind of lower the speed on this guy specifically. On some of my teams, I opted for a different speed stat, but on this one specifically, I felt like bulk was more important, especially with the Sinistcha and the Corviknight. This felt like a more slow-paced team, and then you have a go-fast mode with Sand and Corviknight. Like, these four just feel really strong. The special attack being 12 points into, or I guess 12 ticks into, I'm not sure what to call it now. It's Pokémon Champions. But you hit a bump when you Mega, and your mod is as well the second highest bump, I believe, or the highest bump. You're getting 220, and you're just, I'm gonna be honest, guys. The damage from this Pokemon is crazy. It's absurd. Resists, I will like do 50% is the lowest I've seen from a very bulky like water type. 50% is so wild. So this Pokemon just does so much damage. It's put so much damage on the board. So the whole point of the team is kind of damage trading. Like, you're just pumping out damage and just using these two to kind of clean up at the end, or vice versa. You have these two to just chip, and then you have Charizard and Corviknight, or even just Sinistcha in the back to finish off those like stragglers. Yeah, so let's talk about oh yeah, the calc here, I don't think it matters too much. I think I want to say I changed the spread recently, so I don't think it's actually one. I think it's I'll post the updated spread. I think this is in the incorrect one. Let me actually just double check. No, it seems like it's the right spread. I'm sorry. But you could calc or Corviknight to live a overheat from Jolly Charizard. Actually, no, I think you can live from Modest Charizard as well, surprisingly, with the Aqua Berry. That version of the Corviknight will be in the description. I'll put all the paste and stuff in the description, and the rental codes for you guys, if you guys want to use these teams on ladder. Sinistcha, Hospitality with Citrus Berry, you're just recovering a lot of HP. Strain Sap as well. Matcha Gotcha, like this Pokemon is just the HP goat. You have Trick Room for a slow mode, which is very useful on this team, because Charizard is very obviously not the fastest Charizard out there. You're living a Shadow Ball from Mega Gengar, which is really crazy. This is a real calc, and you still have a lot of defense. You have 143 defense and max HP. Then I put the extra point in special attack, just because Matcha Gotcha damage is pretty useful. Yeah, and I protect obviously to be able to be clicking Earthquakes next to Sinistcha, and maybe just a niche option. Like, I mean, I forget what other people run. They only like Life Dew, or they run Shadow Ball. I think Shadow Ball is a good option if you want another damaging move. I think Shadow Ball is really good. You also get that ghost coverage I don't think anyone else has, but I have two dark types, and Charizard and Excadrill kind of do a shit ton of damage. So I don't think it matters too much if this mon does a crazy damage. But yeah, you have the option for that as well. Next, I want to talk about the Hydreigon. I opted for a Chople Berry because another fighting weakness on the team is not the greatest, especially with Sneasler being everywhere. The reason I chose Hydreigon specifically is because it was a special attacking dragon type, so you have the dragon coverage defensively and offensively, and then you have pretty high special attack, and I can click Fire Blasts in the sun, which do a lot of damage. Hydreigon surprised me with how strong he looks, even without Life Orb. Draco Meteor, Dark Pulse, stabs, and then you just have Fire Blast for in the sun, protects. You also are able to click Earthquake with Levitate. A little bit in bulk, but mostly just max speed, modest. So you're not technically max speed, but you're, 32 points in speed, so you're pretty fast. Yeah. You also have the option, I'm sorry, this is what I was thinking about in my head. You have the option of going Salamence as well if he ever gets added to the game, for Intimidate. At first, I wanted to go AV Hydreigon with U-turn instead of Protect. I felt that was really strong, but with the lack of U-turn, or with the lack of Assault Vest, I opted to go for Protect instead of U-turn. So what I would say is these two are more interchangeable on the team. I think these four are really, really, really strong. I was also thinking maybe I opt for Komodo over Corviknight, but I really want that Tailwind, so I'm not too sure. Maybe in future videos I'll talk about those adjustments that I really want to make to this team, but yeah, Salamence could also be an option for Tailwind, Intimidate. You also get the Dragon Flying and Fire coverage on that Pokemon as well. But he's not in the game, obviously, so we will have to speculate. Next up is this team I used to get to Master Ball. From Ultra Ball. I think I lost 3 times, and it was auto RNG, like really bad RNG. But the team is very, 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 very strong. I would not recommend a weak team. I will say that right now. So you have the Draining Kiss variant of Floette with Calm Mind. So this is very, well, I guess relatively bulky. This is about the same bulk, if not, actually no, this is way more bulk than the Booster Fluttermane speeds from the Reg F Pokemon. So you can lift some crazy hits with this Pokemon. And you're able to click Calm Mind to boost that Spadef and special attack. So you're really just clicking Calm Mind, one Calm Mind, and then you're just nuking the board with Draining Kisses and Dazzling Gleam. Draining Kisses, surprisingly one of my favorite moves on the Pokemon. I tried Moonblast, I tried Light of Ruin. Draining Kiss just feels so good with the Calm Mind specifically. You set up once and then you just are unkillable because you're recovering half of your health, if not more, every single attack. Even on resists, it's insane. I have videos on my VOD as well I can pull up, or you can check out yourself of Floette just nuking the board with Draining Kiss. It's insane. Because of course, his ability. I'm not sure if everybody knows it, but it is a Xerneas' ability, Fairy Aura. So you're also getting a 1.33x boost to your Fairy type, which is stab boosted, and all you have, right? You have double Fairy off of a 155 special attack. That this mon is not okay. But the reason I chose Charizard on this team was I really wanted to use Floette and Charizard together. I think the combination of their coverage is just so good, especially with Garchomp. I decided to go Garchomp, but I'll get to that in a second. This variant of Charizard is the max speed modest one I was talking about earlier. I have the same defensive calc, which I think is really important, but I took a lot of the special attack out for speed. I hit the max speed, hit the defensive calc, and then just put the rest in the special attack. I think we're hitting a bump somewhere. I believe the first the first one. I think that's it. Yeah, unfortunately. But it's like don't sleep on Mega Charizard-Y. In Drought, even with this quote unquote low special attack, you're still doing insane amount of damage. Insane amount of damage. I went with Whimsicott here. You have the so I opted for Sunny Day on my team originally. I'm not too sure what's better, Fake Tea or Sunny Day. I think I would probably opt for for Sunny Day personally. I think Sunny Day is really strong because you can just click into the weather teams. You can lead Whimsicott, Charizard into weather teams and just click Mega on Sunny Day. The next turn, or you could, my bad, you could click Tailwind Mega into like Heat Wave turn 1, and then you can click Sunny Day in case they want to pivot into whatever mon, or if they have like a Scarf Basket Legion, for example. You can still just click Sunny Day, turn 1. Oh my bad, I'm sorry. The next turn. After you click Tailwind. So that invalidates the rain setting. Yeah, and of course the moves. I opted to, for both teams as well, I opted for no overheat. I like the consistency, and the damage output is still really good because you're getting 100 base power, stab boosted, weather boosted, you know, weather ball, which is 100% accuracy. So you're still hitting harder than heat wave single target, but you're not hitting as hard as overheat. But it's marginal, I think, for the accuracy. I missed too many moves to gamble. Incineroar, I opted for Chople Berry for the fighting types and Sneasler and whatever. Fake out for Flare Blitz Parting Shot. Last move I chose Protect, so I can protect next to Garchomp. I can protect whatever. No Dark type move, unfortunately. I think the Protect is right on this team. It feels really right. I don't feel like I missed the Dark type move at all. And the speed stat I feel like is very fine. I would rather have the bulk. The bulk I think is live Mega Floette, Max Attack, Light of Ruin or something. It's something absolutely crazy. And then I live a close combat from Max Attack, Sneasler. If they lead Sneasler into me, like if they expect I lead Instant and they lead Sneasler, I believe if they get greedy, I mean, I'm 99% of the time they're going to fake you out. But let's just say they don't. A fake out plus Flare Blitz in combination is enough to KO. And no bulk Sneasler, or I guess 1 point in HP and defense Sneasler, I should say. So yeah, if you want to use this spread, I don't know, like you could use it on a different team with like Farigiraf or something, and now you just priority block into fake out Flare Blitz and you kill it. And you don't die to close combat. You will probably die to a double up, most likely. I think you take about 60% off from close combat, maybe a little bit less, 50%, somewhere around there. But yeah, I think I really love this spread. Yeah, so next Pokemon I chose Rotom-Wash. I opted out for the Will-O-Wisp. I felt like Electro-Web is a little bit better personally. I like the speed control with that, especially into the Tailwind mirrors. But I really just wanted the electric coverage and the water type defensively. And you also have Levitate for ground immunity. So you can click Earthquake next to Rotom, and you have the double spread as well with Electro Web, Earthquake, Electro Web plus Heat Wave. I think it just feels so well with the team. Like if you can't bring Whimsicott for whatever reason, like it doesn't feel good, you could just bring Rotom and speed control with this guy. I like Electro Web as an option. I don't feel like I miss Will-O-Wisp on this team, but I mean, again, like at your own discretion, you could choose Will-O-Wisp, you can choose Volt Switch. I think Volt Switch has some viability here as well. I was thinking Thunder Wave, but I felt like E-Web's a little bit better because I could break Sashes with that. Yeah, and then obviously we have the GOAT. Everyone loves this Pokemon, Garchomp. I think it's number 2 in usage, I believe, maybe number 3. Yeah, this is a spread I saw on Twitter. I forgot who it was. I apologize. I think it was Eric Rios or somebody. But they had this Scarf spread where they had Adamant. They hit the bump, the max bump, and attack. And then they put the rest in speed, and then 2 in HP, 1 in the defenses. But yeah, you just go Earthquake, Rock Slide, Stomping Tantrum, Dragon Claw. It just seems like the standard right now. You could probably go Breaking Swipe maybe if you want a supportive piece, but he has Breaking Swipe. Fast Breaking Swipe is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I think this team feels really, really strong. I think both of the teams I was talking about feel really strong. And you have the option to change it yourself, of course. These are just my teams. These are not teams that somebody did well in the tournament in. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll bring them to a tournament soon, if I have any free time. But yeah, let's get into this team. This is Adrian Hazel's team from the first Champions tournament. This is the top 16. He finished, I think, 12th place exactly. And he asked him for his spreads. I know him personally, asked for his spreads. And he said, yeah, man, of course I'll help you, and I'll give you the spreads. And he gave me some tips so on how to use his team and such. So yeah, let's just talk about this. So he opted out for the rock slide. Obviously, you can see right here. It's soft sand Garchomp with 2 ground and Dragon Claw, Jolly max speed, and then the rest in attack, a little bit in bulk. 1 HP, 1 Spadef. Nothing too special. It's just opted for max speed. What is really crazy is the lack of rock slides. He said that he felt like he didn't really miss it. He felt like he really enjoyed having Stomping Tantrum plus Earthquake. And I'm sure that with soft sand it does insane damage. So yeah, really cool Pokemon. Next up, we have, and now obviously you're able to click Earthquakes next to Charizard. And I also asked him what he thought about Trace, and he said that Telepathy is better. The Trace rarely came up, and he said that he wanted to switch for Telepathy in the future, so I did the change for him on Showdown. Yeah, it's max speed Scarf with Telepathy, so you're able to click Earthquake with both the Gardevoir and the Charizard. I guess I'll skip over to the Gardevoir, might as well, because I was already talking about it. You have Fast Dazzling Game, which is really crazy. It's really nice to have that. You're able to have what is it, Fairy Ground Coverage, which is the best coverage, if not close to the best coverage in the game. And then you have the Icy Wind option for speed control, niche. You have Side Shocked. Definitely probably one-shot Sneaslers and other poison types. Well, most definitely because Side Shock is targets the defense as well, and Sneasler's defense is very low compared to its special attack, so this is really cool. And then you have single target Fairy with Moonblast, which is really nice. Let's go back to Charizard. So we opted for this is what I think is the standard Charizard set. Every top team I've seen on Twitter and on tournaments and stuff on YouTube, they all seem to use Timid Charizard. Personally, I feel like Modest. If you look back here, I opted for very high special attack. I love the damage this Pokemon outputs, and I'm sure it still outputs crazy damage. 161 with max speed is just under the Modest with well, actually no, I'm sorry. This isn't Mega. Just so I know personally. Let me see. Oops. Okay. So you're actually hitting 211. So you're hitting harder than this variant, but you don't have the same defensive calc. But then again, you are outspeeding the Pokemon anyway. So yeah, very very strong set. I will say that. I think this is probably the best way to run Charizard if you don't want to care too much on defensive calcs and stuff. You just slap this set on it and you're good. Very very strong. I wish I asked him how it felt to run. I haven't run Timid Charizard yet, so I can't really say anything about it, but I'm sure it feels amazing. Next up, Milotic. That's his personal favorite Pokemon, and I remember he used to bring it all the time in Scarlet and Violet tours and regionals and stuff. So at least back when when it first came out, I think he used it in Reg C, Reg D? I think it was Reg D, maybe Reg E, one of those two. I'm sorry if I was wrong on that, but this is the old set he used. It's not optimized for champions yet, but I mean, obviously if you got top 16 with that, I think it's good enough. Scold, Ice Beam, Recover, Protect. It's just like a damage support. It is like a very bulky damage dealer, and you're able to disrupt any stat drops on your opposing Pokemon, which makes it kind of a supportive piece in that aspect, because then you could just, let's say an instant comes on the field, now you're at +2 special attack, and you can just nuke it with a Scold or an Ice Beam. Ice coverage is really good right now as well, so this Pokemon seems really strong, and I'm not surprised if more people will begin to use this. Incineroar. So he opted for a Spadef variant, 17 points in Spadef. Careful with 16 points in defense, max HP, 1 in attack. And he opted for the Darkest Lariat, which I think is right. As long as you're not like super fast instant, I think Darkest Lariat is gonna be better than Throat Chop. I think Throat Chop. There's gonna be eventually there's gonna be Throat Chop wars, I think. where the faster instinct gets the throat chop off, and they can't parting shot away. I think that'll be pretty fun. But yeah, Darkest Lariat, you're bypassing stat changes, which is pretty nice. And you have the standard Citrus Berry. Nothing much to talk about here. Chlorophyll, you're able to use this Venusaur in the sun. You have fast Sea Powder. You have fast Sludge Bombs, so you can damage the fairy types in the format, which is really nice. And of course, you have Leaf Storm for some really powerful grass coverage. And a very simple spread. This is a standard spread for Venusaur. Yeah, very strong team, and I think a lot of you will enjoy this. And it's proven itself in the Limitless Tour, the first Pokemon Champions Tour. Now, here I have Sempra's team. This is his spreads. I don't want to take too much time because he dropped a whole video on it. I will link it in the description, so I won't talk too much about it, but I thought this is a very, very cool team. I think the lack of Kangaskhan's in the format is very surprising. I think this Pokemon is still very strong and very slept on, and I think Sempra is going to put it on the map this first tournament. A lot more people are going to realize it's a real Pokemon, even with the nerf to Power Up Punch. It's still very strong. Like Double Edge is probably nuking everything, and also we got nerfed with Return as well. It lost Return, but Double Edge is still a very powerful move. You start off a Scrappy. So your immune to Intimidates, so you can play slow at the start. You have relatively fast Fake Out, so good. I used the Farigiraf. I used the first place team, in Master Ball tier. And oh, I'm sorry, it's the wrong team. And I feel like Farigiraf on the Charizard teams feels really strong. So I'm not surprised at all that there's a Farigiraf here. You also have the Helping Hand for the damage output, which I think is really, really, really good. If you're going to run a Charizard and a Farigiraf, I think Helping Hand is probably the way to go. The other team opted for Imprison, but we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, he had Rock Tomb. Sempra had Rock Tomb on his Sneasler, because once you hit Unburden, you're just the fastest Pokemon in the game. So now you can just speed drop anything and put it in range of one of the other Pokemon. Or I guess put it in range in terms of speed. So they could outspeed it. And it could also break sashes and whatnot. And then you have Close Combat Dire Claw Fake Out, standard big 3 moves on Sneasler. And you're also going Adamant as well, not Jolly, for the damage output. Basculegion, another, this is a very, I would say, damage trading team. You're trading a lot of damage. If you win damage trades, if you're getting the right picks, choosing the right targets, getting the right kills, this team will win any game, I think. You also have a lot of pivoting with this Basculegion, and you have a Charizard to set up Sun. You have Whimsicott with Encore and Sunny Day, which probably feels really good. I'm sure it feels really good. You're able to disrupt weather teams with Sunny Day. You're able to set up Tailwind for speed control. You still have damaging moves with Moonblast, and of course you have Disruption with Encore. Feels really good. And then the standard Charizard set. He opted for Solar Power as well here. I think if you're running Double Mega and you have Whimsicott or a Sunny Day setter, definitely go Solar Power. I forgot to mention that in this team as well. The Charizard here is Solar Power. Obviously, because if I want to have these two Megas in the same game, or in the same 4, most of the time, if not every time, I'm going to Mega Floette. So having Charizard basically get a specs boost in Sun with the lack of items is still very, very, very strong, which I think validates Mega Charizard so much, where you can run like Whimsicott or whatever secondary Sunsetter on the team, and you don't even have to Mega it for it to get value, just because Solar Power is such a strong ability right now. You don't need an item, because the items, as you can see, are very limited. You're not really missing out not having another item, so it's better just to go Charizard-Y, even if you bring Mega Floette in the game, or most games, just because there might be an option where, or might be a game where the niche of Charizard-Y matters a lot. And then last up, this is a team I use, and this is a recreation, by the way, so take it with a grain of salt. These are not exact spreads to what was used in the tournament. This is just my personal recreation of it. But it's the Garchomp set I was talking about before, the same exact one in the other team. Dragon Claw, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Sonic Tantrum, Adamant, Max Speed, Scarf. This is the defensive variant, modest Max Speed Charizard. I feel like it feels pretty good with the Farigiraf because I'm able to click Trick Room and underspeed other Charizards who are Jolly, or my apologies, Timid. I wanted Whimsicott Protect because of or obviously, well, obviously, I didn't build this team, but Protect feels very strong on Whimsicott because you're able to click Earthquakes next to it, and you're also able to block Fake Out, which I think is really important right now. If you want to lead Whimsicott, there's no Covert Cloak and there's no Terra Ghost to bypass Intimidate or Fake Outs. Well, I guess there's Farigiraf on the team, but if you don't want to bring Farigiraf into the game, then you're just kind of effed, you know? But you have the Encore, Tailwind, Moonblast, Protect. No need for Sunny Day, I think, because you have one Mega. So 99% of the time you're going to be Megaing this Charizard because you're going to be bringing it into 99% of games, most likely. This is Farigiraf. I believe this is Sempra spread. I just repasted here. This is also, to be fair, I came up with these stats myself, but I think it's, if not similar to Sempra. I think he went 2 HP. So same thing, basically. Same thing as Sempra. And then this is a Kingambit set I made back in the day. With a 1 Swords Dance, Sucker Punches are going to be doing crazy damage. You could opt for more bulk, you could opt for less attack, more attack, you know. Maybe not Dread Plate, but it's Black Glasses. You can really hit one Swords Dance and Sucker Punches are going to be crazy. You're able to, there's a lot of, I want to note that there's a lot of instant hate on this team. So I think the core of Sneasler, Garchomp, and Kingambit is really strong right now. And you might see a lot of teams in the future use these 3 Pokemon in tandem. Just because the amount of instant hit. You have White Herb Unburden with Close Combat and Fast Fake Out with Sneasler. Garchomp obviously has Earthquake and Sonic Tantrum and Rock Slide all hitting instant for super effective. And you have Rough Skin, which also chips it really well. And then you have Defiant Kingambit, where even though you're weak to Flare Blitz, you're still getting a +1 attack boost, and it's with Intimidate. So after a Swords Dance, you could really do a lot of damage to an instant. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Oh, I forgot about the Imprison Trick Room Farigiraf. So into Hard Trick Room, you're able to run Imprison into I don't know, like Primarina or something with Hyper Voice. You will click Imprison and block it. You know what's funny? One time I clicked Imprison expecting a Psychic, so I protected my Sneasler, clicked Imprison, they clicked Psychic into my Sneasler, I protected so they did no damage, I imprisoned it, and so that the next turn they are not able to click Psychic and I win the game. I think it's a really fun gimmick with the Sneasler, just to click Imprison, then now they can't hit him with super effective damage. If it's Psychic, specifically Psychic. And then Hyper Voice as well is going to be in the future a very strong move if they ever add Ursaluna Blood Moon and Salamence Mega. They are going to be running Hyper Voice, so having the option of Imprison there is really good. In tandem with Trick Room and Psychic, which pairs well with the team, where you can click Trick Room and control Trick Room, while you can force opponents to not be able to control the same slow speed control. Yeah, and then I think you have Tail Room. So you have Tailwind plus Trick Room, so you're able to control both fast and slow. That's also why I didn't opt for Timid Charizard. Maybe you can even go with the other set, the first set I showed over here, a Wall Breaker Charizard. If you really want to opt for that, but I think this is probably the set that would perform the best on this team. And yeah, I think that's about it. Here are some visuals of the teams. The first one, the Sand and Sun, the Floette and Mega Charizard. This is the first place team that we just talked about. This is Adrian's team. And this is Sempra's team. And I will link both Adrian, I forgot to mention, Adrian got the video going more in depth on his team. So I would encourage everybody who watches this video to check out his video as well as Sempra's video. I'll post all of the pastes, and I will also post the rental teams in the description. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Peace out.